A family lost their daughter to a sudden heart attack, leaving the parents devastated. Overwhelmed by grief and unable to bear the sight of their daughter's body, they hastily buried her behind the house. In the dead of night, the parents heard the unsettling sound of nails scratching against wood from the overgrown grass behind the house. Everyone whispered it was haunted. As time passed, the elderly couple gradually forgot about the incident. Years later, when they relocated the grave, they opened the coffin to a horrifying sight. Upon the coffin lid were scratch marks, the clothes and bedding inside torn apart. It dawned on them years ago. Their daughter had been buried alive. There was a river, narrow yet deep. A ferryman plied his trade upon its waters. He was no ordinary ferryman. He was a thief at heart. One day, a city dweller boarded his boat, wearing a gleaming golden watch, its gears ticking away. In those days, a mechanical watch was a luxury. Greed overtook the ferryman, and with a swift motion, he snatched it. The city dweller fought back, but the ferryman, armed with an oar, struck him down, tied a heavy stone to his body, and cast him into the river. The ferryman wore the stolen watch, continuing his crossings atop the city dweller's lifeless form. Days later, the ferryman accidentally dropped the watch into the river. Desperate, he plunged in to retrieve it. Yet, he found no watch, only the body. 12 years later, the ferryman ceased his crossings. One day, as he fished in the river until nightfall, his patience waning with each empty catch, he hauled in a metallic object. Astonishingly, it was the same watch he had dropped into the river. To his disbelief, the watch was still ticking after 12 long years. How could this be possible? As he pondered, a head emerged from the water with a resounding splash. It was the city dweller. His face pale yet smiling, he said,
"I wind it every day beneath the water."
A deep mine collapsed, trapping 7 or 8 workers. One of them was fortunate. At the moment of collapse, he found refuge in a narrow space, while the others were crushed to death by falling rocks. The air inside the mine was thin, and physical exertion was rapid. Normally, a person could survive 5 to 7 days without food, but here only 2 or 3 days were possible. The terrain was complex, and it would take at least 20 days to open an exit. There was water but no food in the mine. The person inside was doomed. Those on the surface hesitated to expend resources, but superiors issued strict orders. Alive or dead, they must be found. After more than 20 days of relentless effort, rescue workers finally saved the lucky survivor. The moment he saw the sunlight, he went mad. 8 people had died, yet only 6 bodies were found. Where had the remaining person gone? A man moved into a new home. One night, as he got up to use the bathroom, he felt like someone was watching him. With a quick thought, he leaned in to look through the peephole in the door, but it was pitch black and he couldn't see anything. There were lights in the hallway, so why weren't they turning on? The next day, as he descended the stairs, he noticed that the motion sensor lights were working perfectly fine. Feeling uneasy, he approached his own door and took a look. The peephole had been installed backwards.